Thank you for returning to the Dr. Chris Radio Horror Show in 2021. And tonight on the show, we have one of the first guests on the show for 2021. We have the writer-director of Secret Santa, a 2018 comedy horror movie about Christmas dinner bringing tidings of death when someone enacts revenge, and out of the bloody madness rises a hero who must face all odds to stop an outbreak before it's too late. And on with us to talk about it is the man behind this project, as well as maybe an update about a current running project that might be coming out in 2021. We have Adam Marcus. Thank you for coming back on the show, Adam Marcus, and Happy New Year.
You too, my brother. It's a pleasure to be back with you, man.
Before we get to Secret Santa, what is the update on the documentary about someone going to hell and finding out how that happened?
Yeah, the update on Hearts of Darkness, the making of The Final Friday, is that we finally got back to being able to shoot a little bit more footage because we started up directly after our Indiegogo campaign success last year. We started shooting in January and February, and we got 29 interviews, in the can, and we were kicking ass. Over 75 hours of footage had been shot. I mean, we were cruising. And then March happened and, pandemic. And suddenly we had to put the brakes on. And we just got back to shooting we just shot a couple more of the interviews. So we're up to 31 interviews now. We still got 6 more to go. And they're bigger interviews. I mean, John D. LeMay, who's in Idaho, my brother Kip Marcus, who's in Seattle. So we are working with them remotely. Now, I will not shoot anything Zoom-wise. I won't do anything like that for the doc. Everything has to be shot on 4K. And so cameras are either being shipped to those places for them to be able to record their interviews with us. We would be Skyping or on Zoom with them or FaceTime Live. And that way, we'll be able to ask all the questions and get responses that are natural for the performers. We'll still be shooting it the way everybody else is shot, so everything will be seamless. And that takes a lot of coordinating and a lot of schedules working out with each other. So we are committed to making sure that this thing is the highest quality it can be, and that every interviewee, every subject gets the same treatment. In the meantime, what's been great is that the Indiegogo is still up. It's still live. People have still been contributing to the film and donating to the movie and getting all kinds of cool perks in return for it. What's happened is it's allowed us to do kind of cooler animations and all kinds of better graphics and just do, better work on the movie. So our plan is just to keep moving forward. Who knows what this year is going to bring as far as pandemic relief and getting us back out in the field and shooting in a real way. It's just we're going to comply with every rule that SAG has. And because we're a low-budget movie, we can't do all the kinds of testing that we would need to do to keep this thing as safe as it needs to be. So we're going to do things in the safest way possible and comply. And that's kind of what we're doing. So we're hoping to have a cut of the movie this year and getting it out there to festivals and to some public screenings, as well as, getting a Blu-ray and DVD made of the film as well so that we can actually release this sucker. So, we're pretty much up to date on everybody getting their swag. So that's been awesome. Like, everybody's been getting their cool stuff. We've definitely gone out with all of that, and that's been amazing. All the artists who contributed to this thing, who donated materials, who donated artwork, who donated masks and T-shirts and all the rest of it. And we're ending up with a pretty kick-ass product. The movie itself is amazing. The material that we've collected has been incredible. I will tell you, one of the things that made my heart jump is, Jason Goes to Hell is a very divisive chapter in the Friday the 13th saga. It is canon for anybody who wants to play that it's not canon. No, it's canon. It's a Friday the 13th film, guys. Not a fan movie. It's an actual part of the lexicon of this franchise.
And if anyone does want to argue that, who does absolutely hate the movie, and you can't convince them otherwise to not hate the movie, it completely sets up Freddy vs. Jason. So if you like Freddy vs. Jason, you wouldn't have Freddy vs. Jason without Jason Goes to Hell, because that's how Freddy and Jason meet.
Absolutely. My favorite thing, though, is my favorite criticism of the movie is the misspelling of the name Voorhees on the Voorhees mailbox. And what I love is that I personally take more flack over that than almost anything else in the movie. as though, that's what directors do. We paint the signage before shots happen. And by the way, Sean Cunningham, the guy who created the entire franchise, was standing right next to me when we shot things like The Mailbox. This documentary goes so detailed. There's such detail in this thing that you will finally find out why The Mailbox was spelled that way. And when that answer is revealed, there are going to be a bunch of angry fanboys who can kiss my ass in Macy's window. Because when they find out how that happened and who was responsible for the misspelling of Voorhees on the mailbox, there's going to be a lot of guys eating crow. Like, a lot. So this documentary revealed stuff that even I didn't know, where I was shocked to find out. So, and by the way, this is a detail, but it's a detail that people it's been the bane of my existence for 25 years. And suddenly there is not just vindication, but there is an answer that's going to make a lot of people feel like balls. It's cool. It's cool. The doc is cool, man. It's fun, and the stories that are told are amazing. This cast and crew still some of the best people I've ever worked with in my career, and they are generous and lovely and funny and pretty amazing. And it's incredible to think how many people came out of this movie to really have beautiful careers. It's really extraordinary, man. So yeah, I'm very excited about about how this thing is shaping up. It's just who the hell could have ever, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, and that's what we seem to have this year. So we're rolling with the punches, and we're going to put out the best movie so that the fans get exactly what they deserve.
I mean, it's not like Jason Goes to Hell is, as divisive as, let's say, I don't know, Wonder Woman 84? I mean, come on.
Oof. Dude. Oof. My mama always said, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. I got nothing to say on that one.
What was the worst Secret Santa gift you've ever gotten?
Oh, no. Well, I got to tell you, I've gotten some crappy ones, but I will say this. My wife, Deborah, has gotten the short end of the stick, even in my family, Secret Santas. If you remember in the movie, in Secret Santa, there's that necklace that Jacqueline, Michelle Renee Allaire's character, gets in the movie, that sort of brambly nest of bejeweled wire that goes around her neck. That is a reproduction of an actual Secret Santa gift my wife Deborah got.
So it's your in-joke into your own movie of a slight against somebody who gave you a crappy gift?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. No, I mean, it was the most hideous thing any of us at the table had seen. And my wife is such a trooper. She goes to put the thing on, and it was literally stabbing her the rest of the night.
Is Deborah Sullivan your wife?
Deborah Sullivan is my wife.
Okay.
The lead of Secret Santa is my wife.
Gotcha. Okay, just making sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to pull out the wrong Deborah and go, wait, I think this is his wife.
She's also my writing partner and one of my producing partners, her and my brilliant partner, Brian Sexton. That's the team that made Secret Santa, yeah.
What brought about Secret Santa, besides, the title of the movie, but wanting to do like a Christmas horror movie? What brought that on?
It's a couple of things. I mean, the most specific origin for Secret Santa was, my partner Brian wanted us to make a horror film, and he needed it quickly because he needed something to sell for AFM the year that we went to make this thing. And when he came to me, I had just created this division of our company, which is this, our company Skeleton Crew has three tiers. We've got our film division, which is, usually $1 million and above. And then we've got our TV division. And then underneath that is my favorite part of the company, which is our company is broken up into three divisions. Skeleton Crew is broken up into a top tier, which is $1 million and over movies. And usually it's bigger budgeted than $1 million, but that's sort of the line. Then we've got a TV division, and then we've got our ultra low division, which is the Where the Hell Did Roger Corman Go division.
Uh-huh.
That's my favorite division of the company. And basically the concept behind that part of the company is that we want to find new filmmaking voices and give them a shot to make their movie. And so you're talking about micro-budgeted filmmaking, but the thing is, we get out of the way of the filmmaker making their story. And so when we created that, I was like, look, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to force any filmmaker to do something that I wasn't willing to do myself. Because when somebody is complaining they don't have enough, I go, well, I made Secret Santa. He needed something. He called me on October 31st, 2015, and said he needed this. He said, what do we got? What do you got script-wise that would fit this? And at the time, I had nothing. Deborah and I have written over 80 movies together, but there was nothing this low budget. And so I said, give me a couple hours. Let me figure something out. I went to Pat Destro, who plays the aunt in the film, Aunt Carol. And Pat has this incredible house up at Big Bear Lake. So she had offered for me to shoot there anytime I wanted to, which is a very dangerous thing to tell a horror filmmaker, that they can use your beautiful mansion. I said, hey, Pat, listen, I got a role in this movie for you, and I want to know if I would be able to use the house up at Big Bear. She said, absolutely, you got it. I said, great. Can you do me another favor? And again, this is October 31st. I said, can you call your neighbors and just make sure that they will not take their Christmas decorations down until the middle of January? I said, I just need like the first 2.5 weeks of January. She said, shouldn't be a problem. She checks with her neighbors. They're good to go. I said, great. So now I know I'm art decorated for a Christmas movie at the beginning of January 2016. I call up cast members that I know I would want to work with, people that I think are amazing. And again, I have my own acting studio in LA, Skeleton Crew Theater Works, and I've been teaching in Los Angeles for the last couple decades. And so I've got this incredible group of performers, and they're all people you would recognize or know because they're constantly on television. They're constantly doing guest stars on procedural shows and all that kind of stuff. And a couple of them, people like Drew Lynch, who was, the runner-up in America's Got Talent a few years ago, was Howie Mandel's Golden Buzzer, the stuttering comic. And then you've got guys like Michael Rady, who is the Hallmark Channel's poster boy and was in the Melrose Place reboot. I mean, the guy is, he's amazing. I get these guys are also in my group. I call up all my folks and I say, guys, are you able to give me 11 days between this date and this date at the beginning of January 2016? Each one of them signed off. There was only one person who could only give me half the time. So I said, great, I'll kill you first. And that's literally how it went.
That's kind of like Jamie Lee Curtis, like, I'll return for that resurrection, but you got to kill me right in the beginning of the movie. Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is sometimes how filmmaking happens. So I knew what my parameters were. I knew who my actors were. And then I started to think, okay, I'm trapped in a house on Christmas Eve. Go. How do I tell that? Here's the thing. Before I was born, my parents were married on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve became this time when not only did they celebrate their wedding anniversary, but our Christmas party got exponentially more huge. And by the way, both my parents are Jews. So we're a Jewish household having this like insane blowout Christmas party every year, like the biggest there was. It was nuts. It was all in celebration of their marriage, but also because if you want all of your friends who are Christian and Catholic to come to your Christmas party, you better have a Christmas party, even though it's your anniversary party. So they did that. What's great is for my brother and I, look, we got on Hanukkah, we got socks and pencils and all kinds of crap that kids have to have, but that you're like, wow, great present. And then on Christmas, we would get the cool shit, the cool stuff. We would get, that's when I got my Millennium Falcon, this kind of stuff, right? The problem is, when I was 6 years old, my parents split up. And suddenly, Christmas and that party, they still have the party. They still had this giant Christmas party. But now, it was this party of people who just hated each other, who just couldn't stand one another. So they were being great for the